Sorry. Yeah, it's recording now.
Okay. I don't have any other space right now. Well, I'm not gonna learn right now, but anyway. Yeah, I use Linux and I reinstalled this in here and I don't have access to my main hard drive. I have a small solid state where the operating software is on, but it won't allow me to access my main hard drive for some reason, and I just never had time to try and figure out how to play with that. I only use this laptop rarely, but anyway, it's enough computer stuff. That's not my forte. The forte is living, not being stuck in this crap that takes us away from who we really are, of divine source. So, Nicola, where's Nicola? Is she around? Let's see her. She's got her mic on, I think. Mute her. Okay, so Nicola.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Not flash, but I'm still hanging in.
Excellent. Very good. So we're just getting settled in. I was stuck in traffic. I just got in a few minutes ago. It took a 35, 40-minute drive. Took me an hour and a half. So it's traffic all over the city. It's raining. And it's the way it is in Toronto life. So what's been happening, Nicole? I see you lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost about 25 kilos. I'm getting lots of complaints now.
Kilos? Oh wow, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, I had to lose anyway, so I don't feel too skinny yet.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. How you feeling?
I feel dreadful. I feel really, really unwell. I feel like there's something in my brain that's clearing.
Yeah. All kinds of things happen when you're on this long fast.
Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah. I feel like I've gone right back into symptoms that I had prior to Master Fast and prior to fruit. So I don't think it's anything to worry about, but yeah, I'm just not sure how to keep going. But I'm still there. I'm still every day. I hit another goal tomorrow, 81, and yeah, and then I'll go for 90, and just carrying on. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, when all these things come to the surface, they're usually coming to the surface from older things like emotions or ailments or whatever. They're coming to the surface to be healed, and this is where you need to embrace. This is where most people fail. You know, they'll tell you to, eat and stop the detox or whatever. No. This is where you put the pedal to the metal and embrace, because this is where you have to have that faith and the trust in nature's operating table that it knows exactly what it's doing. Your body has everything it needs to heal. We don't need to add anything. We don't need to do anything. We can assist in the tough times, but this is where we have to really focus and know without a doubt that the body knows what it's doing and it has everything it needs to heal. This is where most people fail. 108 days out of a lifetime is nothing, you know. We should be doing this every year. But, you know, we don't need to. Once we do one long one, like I mentioned, if you're doing at least two 40 days per year, spring and fall, that's plenty to keep your body in a reset and a healthy state, as long as you maintain a clean diet. Because there's so much garbage out there. If we don't have a maintenance system, in a few years, you'll be right back. That's how bad it is out there.
Yeah.
You know, we either filter out the garbage or we become the filter. So if we don't clean our filters continuously, eventually we just go back. We got that cell memory, and it just takes on back to where we were, and it doesn't take too long, especially if you go back to your old ways of living and doing all the same things and eating and all that. That's why I just, you know, suggest to everybody, change everything what you do from A to Z. Change the times you wake up, change the times you go to sleep, change the times you eat, change everything. You don't want to go back to your old ways. And once you've done that for 30, 40, 50 days, 30 days is usually enough to reset and have a new a routine. Like, you know, for autistic children, they need a routine. And at 30 days or so, you can set them in that state, and they're okay after that. But we can't go back to the old ways because the old ways are what got us into trouble. So we got to maintain something different. And this is a system to do it. You know, it's we don't have all the answers, but it works. And as we keep learning, we keep adding to it. But the key to health is subtraction, not addition. And this is where you know, all the other people are telling you have to have this vitamin, this mineral, this herb, this. No, we use the herbs to assist, but mainly when we're fasting, when we're eating, as I say many times, keep the herbs sporadically and, you know, whatever, occasionally here and there, change them up. Don't use herbs all the time. They don't work the best in the times when you're eating, and you're not going to get your biggest bang for your buck on them. You know, if you're picking them free still, I don't suggest you use herbs all the time when you're eating. When you're fasting, go all out as much as you can afford. And it should be quite a bit because you're saving so much money on food. All these people complaining it's expensive and all that. I don't know what planet you're living on, but I just made a post today, you know, over here you buy 2 mangoes, it could be $5. It's crazy. The prices have gone ludicrous here in Toronto on fruit. It's like you can spend $10, $20 on a small fruit meal. That's where it's gone here. You know, on Master Fast loaded with herbs, I average about $10 a day, plus or minus, with the tea, the herbs, the juice, the lemons, and the psyllium pudding. That's about average what I spend a day. And on your dry fasting days, it's free. Costs you nothing. So the more dry fast you do, the less your average cost will be. And that's what we need to focus on, not adding things, subtracting, because this is what it takes to be healthy. You know, all these glutton programs out there, you know, eat as much fruit as you want, you know, blow up your stomach, whatever. It has nothing to do with health and healing. It's totally opposite. Totally opposite. It's when your body's clean, there's so little amount of food we actually need. Most people will not believe it. But what does it take to get us there? It takes us a few fasts and a maintenance system to keep us there. You know, obstructions are the problem. We keep putting things through the body and we keep getting obstructions. Physically, fruit is the least obstructive, but it still obstructs, folks. Even fruit obstructs to some degree, but it's the least of all the foods for man, physical foods. So we have to keep a system to keep removing those obstructions. You know, even emotions will obstruct because we do things physically to create a physical obstruction from our emotions. So we have to have a system where we can remove these obstructions. And the obstructions are all our diseases, whatever name you want to call them, whether they're emotional issues, whether they're man-made diseases or whatever, they all stem through the obstruction of some sort. And we have a system in place to deal with these, and we all have these issues. I deal with them just like all of you. So, you know, fasting resets us. You know, dry fasting, you know, every day, every week, every month, every season change. That'll keep you in a reset mode. Every time you do a little bit of overeating and stuff, we get reset. And then every spring and fall, we do a nice long reset to bring us back into balance. There's very few people that are going to be able to really be strict, very strict, like maintain a one meal a day, mono fruit diet. You know, you're going to have very few people, a handful on the planet, maybe, or two. So, you know, we do the best we can. And when we go offline, we have a reset system. That's all it takes is resetting ourselves.
The deeper you dig, like the longer you go, not the harder it gets, but the harder it gets, because you know, you're dealing with deeper emotions, deeper, longer term issues. So it just would go to stand to reason that it would get more challenging.
What challenges have you been facing, basically?
I can't stand up. I can't walk.
Wow.
I can stand up and I can walk, but I'm so dizzy and I'm so
Cerebellum.
yeah, and I've just got zero energy. I've got these pains down my arms, like down here. It's not pain, it's numbness, and it's heaviness, and I just can't use my arms. My fingers, or actually my whole arms and hands, fingers are all really numb. My legs are numb. My heart rate's just way too low all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How many tinctures are you on?
Oh, probably about 40.
14?
14.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a amount of herbs, like massive herbs, because I've got my own herbs, so I can.
Yeah. Well, what's going on with your body? It's doing some really deep repairing. That's why you're having all these healing reactions when you're on these deep cleanses. And this is where a lot of people, like I was saying before, they don't understand what's going on. Like sometimes people will go paralyzed temporarily and stuff like that, or severe cramping and stuff like that, numbness as you're explaining. This is the body's way of doing these deep repairs. And then once you get over this, you see everything gets better and better. Like everybody that does these, their bowels work better, digestion works better, you know, they're stronger, they feel better overall. Unless they start going back to you know, eating crap and stuff. But the body does so much healing at the deep cellular level in these long fasts. It's incredible. What was your longest dry fast? Was it 5 days or something, or?
No, I tried to do 5, and I only done just under 3, like a couple of hours under 3.
Okay.
Done a 3-day once before, and I kind of thought, oh yeah, I can freeze. I was doing dry fasting, like I was doing 2 nights and 1 day dry, and then 2 days and 1 night juice, and I did that for 2 or 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks, and then I thought, oh yeah, I'll be able to do the 5-day, but I couldn't do it. It was just a disaster.
Yeah, you weren't able to move around on the dry?
No.
Yeah, this is a problem when people are trying to do these long dry fasts. If you can't move around, you're not going to be able to do the long ones. You have to push yourself and force the breath, or you won't be able to do long ones. It's just not going to happen.
I was just in bed. I was just like I'm in bed a lot of days anyway,
Yeah.
but it's because I get up, I get my kids to school, and then I go back to bed all day until I got to pick them up from school, and it's just a nightmare to get through to the 8 o'clock when they go to bed, and then I just sort of sit and relax for a while. And I've changed some stuff in my life. I've started yoga, which I found really, really helpful, and I could do it. And I've got a lady coming to live with me this week to help me out of my home, and to help get me. I mean, she's a fitness instructor and she's a Pilates coach, and she's also a physio. So she's gonna come stay with me for a while, maybe a month or more.
That's great.
I'm just scared my internet plug-in, it's not stable here. So I'm glad you're sticking it out.
Oh,
'Cause the rewards are there for the people who stick it out.
yeah. I think probably the thing that's concerning me most is, like, I've always had the fatigue and that sort of thing, but it's just numbness in my hands and fingers, and I'm just, my brain is going back to old thinking of, it's a B12. If I took some B12, I'd be fine. I know I won't be, so I'm better off just not to bother and just
The body don't work like that when you're fasting. These are all Luciferic thinking, I like to call it. It's believing that we know better than the built-in perfection of the system that we have that allows us to heal. We have access to a perfect blueprint to heal the body only when we fast. There's no other way to do it. And when you trust and you keep that faith and pursue, no matter what happens, with prudence, you will see what the body can do. And you guys have been reading the stories of people. There's miracles happening every day on people doing the master fast.
It's really challenging because I have so much emotion, like from having a really traumatic life, and it's really hard pushing through when I'm damaging my kids. But they want me to keep going, so they want it done.
They're cheering you on. Excellent. Well, I highly recommend you force yourself to do some breath work. Just force yourself. Force it. Because you need to move lymph. And lymph can also be moved through breath. Because the lungs are a muscle. And that's the only way we can move lymph is through muscle movement. So you got to force whatever you do some stretching, everything. You're going to feel better afterwards. I got out some long fasts dry fasts that I've done. I got out of bed and could barely move around. And, I just forced myself to do yoga. I forced. And that right after I finished, I felt a million times better.
I've had a this morning, and I actually can't lift the blankets off me to get out of bed again. It's so challenging, but I've just got to do it.
Yeah. It's how much juice are you drinking a day?
Sort of 710 mils. I've got a bottle that's 710, and the 700 mils, and I have 2 to 3 cups of tea. I'm trying to cut my cups of tea down.
Excellent. That's you're digging deep. That's not a lot of fluid. That's good. That's good.
1.7 liters.
Well, approximately what? About 1.5 liters total.
Yeah, probably would be more like that would be about 1.25, maybe 1.5 days.
1.5. That's good. That's good. Got some people guzzling 2, 3, 4 liters a day. It's just way too much stress on the kidneys. Way too much. But at the beginning, it's okay. It helps flush the GI tract, which is helpful. And then later on, you wean down from there. That's what happens. Most people.
I only have 1 or 2 glasses of juice and 2 cups of tea. But it's finding the balance of too little digs too deep and too much overwhelms my kidneys.
Yep, yep. That's where you have to go by feel. You shouldn't be forcing yourself to drink too much, and you shouldn't be forcing to stay too low. You just want to find that nice balance when you're drinking. When we're dry fasting, we're dry fast. That's a different story. But in the daily routine thing, when we're in our drinking window, we want to feel comfortable, and the juice helps that. Give you that little bit of energy and to do things and keep things moving. We need to go back and forth. We can only go dry so long, unless we become a breatharian. But you're doing great. Hang in there. Hang in there. I see some changes on you, so hang in.
Thank you so much.
If you really feel like you need to break it, you know what to do. Just we don't need to be heroes. Just be wise, be prudent. Know that when the time is to break it, if you have to break it. But you got lots going on. You got lots going on, Nicola. And I wish there was easier ways. This is about the easiest way that I've found that really does a good number, to help a lot of people. So,
So how's everybody else going?
yeah, let's hear from some people.
How is everyone else going today?
Anybody got any questions, comments, suggestions?
I have a question regarding when you're doing the dry fast. I know you mentioned in some of the videos that it's better to take the herb tinctures also when you're on the dry. It works really well.
It's an option. It's not that it's better or anything, but I've found that, I've experimented both ways many times. And sometimes with the herbs, man, they just allow you to pull out way more garbage through the kidneys when you're on these dries. Not that the body can't do it by itself, but sometimes, we're not taking much. I'm suggesting half a dose of the regular dose, which is like a quarter teaspoon of each, depending on how many herbs. It's a very small amount of herbal tincture that we're doing if we're doing it on the dry. But just putting it in your mouth, even when at the beginning I was just rinsing my mouth with them and spitting them out, seeing how that worked, just to relieve some of the dryness, and that really helped. But you get that helping hand from the spirit of the herbs, and it really helps. And for a lot of people, they're having challenges on these dry fasts. It allows them to push a little further. So, like, if you can do a dry, by all means, go for it. I've done the dries. If you need a little bit of help, try both. What I suggest is go completely dry as long as you can, and when you feel like you need some help, start doing some tinctures. But 3 days, most people should be able to do a 3-day, really, even up to a 5-day. If you're, been eating clean, and you've been practicing a little bit, 3 to 5 days should not be much of an issue. Some people have more challenges depending on where they're coming from, but 3 days, I put, sad eaters, junk food eaters, smokers on 3 days pretty much, and most of the people can handle that. Once you start moving up to the 5 and more, that's where people have the challenges. And 5 days, unless you've been practicing for a while, more than 5 days is going to be challenging. And I would suggest you have supervision. And you have to understand what's going on with dry fast. I got a few people that they've jumped into 7, 8, 9 days dry fast. They've never done dry fast before. Yeah, it's all nice and dandy, but it's not the way you're going to heal the body. You need a system. We have a lot of people that have come to Master Fast that have been practicing dry fasting for a long time, 1-2 years or more. And and they still have many issues because it's not the way to solve your issues by only dry fast and then going back to whatever you were doing before. It's just shocking the body. You need a fluid system, going back and forth. That's why I suggest we maintain a dry fast for life, no matter what. That's your reset. And then, you know, we do a nice long, I suggest a long master fast initially. You know, 108 days is a magic number to really, really focus on cleaning that GI tract. It's not going to clean it 100%, folks. Far from it, especially for us that are, you know, 40, 50, 60 years in age. No way. But it does a damn good job at cleaning that GI tract. And that's why we start seeing a lot of magic happening with people healing at deep levels where they couldn't heal before. You know, a lot of these people on the site have been trying so many different things and they just couldn't surpass, they reached a plateau. They just couldn't surpass a certain level. And they just had so many issues. So the dry fasting is something that you need a system with it. Like there's a lot of other people doing dry fasts out there, and they're not achieving the healing levels that we're achieving on Master Fast. They're not doing it. You know, we have, she was on last week, Elena, was it? Elena, is that her name? Elena, she went to Russia, actually, Philonov's thing. She did 2 long dry fasts there, and she still can't solve her issues, because you're not going to solve your issues with just doing 1 long dry fast and then you think you're going to go back. No, it ain't going to happen, folks. Not in this environment, not in our society. We need a system. And that's why I put a lot of thought and a lot of years of experimenting to figure out what can we do to really help everybody. And this is the closest thing I could come up, and the simplest thing, to allow us to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you know, for good. So play with the tinctures, play without them. You'll see at the beginning when you start trying to do these longer ones, it will help you. Because, like, you have to understand dry fasting. When you start getting into dry fasting, the longer ones especially, 4 or 5 days and so on, you're going to wake up days that you think that, well, I got to stop this. You gotta stop. You gotta end the fast. Yeah. And then, like I was saying before, you force yourself to breathe, move, and things just change. This is the fasting in general. Things change very quickly from feeling amazing to feeling horrific, and the other way around, from feeling horrific to feeling amazing. That's how fast things can change on a fast. So you have to understand this. And so you move yourself, you force to breathe and everything, and then things turn around, and wow. And then the next day you feel amazing. So this is what you have to understand. You know, unless you can't breathe, you have to keep the faith to be able to push forward. This is where the experience over textbook stuff will always trump certificates and everything else. You need to understand this. You know, it's even sometimes myself, I have to remind myself when I'm feeling like that, you know, no, I got to keep going and I push myself. You know, it gets scary sometimes, but, you know, you just got to pull into that faith, that knowing. And, you know, so many other people have gone, you know, so many days, but we don't have to be heroes. We don't have to kill ourselves, you know, on the first fast. We do it slowly with prudence. Slow, steady finishes the race. We're not looking to win the race. We want to finish the race. So if we keep practicing dry fasting, it gets easier and easier and easier. Like I was on some really strong herbs early this week, and on Tuesday I went to my martial arts class on my last day, and we were doing some stuff, and I had a fall, and I had a massive instant headache, which I don't get headaches. And so that was it Tuesday, and then Wednesday I ate something, and then I started my dry fast on Wednesday, and I still had this headache lingering around even today. It's almost gone now. I did a colonic yesterday. It helped, and then today, but it's pretty much almost gone. And I, like I said, I don't get headaches. So there's something going on in my head with what I've done with this herb and this dry fasting. So, you know, today I broke the dry fast this morning, and I'm doing the juice and the herbs and the tea. But, you know, we just have to understand, let the body do what it's got to do, embrace what's going on. Sometimes it's not pleasant. There's some people having very severe healing reactions, like poor Marin from Germany. I mentioned his story. I don't think, honestly, folks, I don't think there's anybody who's gone through what he's gone through and is alive. I honestly don't, on this planet. If there is, you can count them on your hand because the 3 years of chemo they put him through is incredible. He's been the last 2 weeks going through major healing reactions. He's getting all the symptoms of going through the chemo they put him through. And the stuff that's coming out of his urine, I've never seen. It's like a liquid cement. And he urinated in a stainless steel pot, and he can't wash it out no more. It's glued on, completely cemented on. And he's been urinating like this for 2 weeks. And the smell, he says, is pure chemicals. Pure chemicals. So I've never seen anything like this. Like that's how severe it is. But just knowing how the body functions, I know the body's getting rid of all the chemo chemicals and the damaged tissue that the body had endured through the chemo processes. So this is where, you know, you have to keep that faith. And he's going through a lot of pain as well, a lot of pain. So I feel for the poor guy because
He's not giving up.
he's, you know, yeah, he's over 240 days on Masterclass, folks. Over 240. I don't know what number it's 240 something, 250. I don't know what he's at. He has no plans to go back to eating because I don't know if you know what he's gone through. They took out a lot of his lymph system, a majority of it through experimental surgery, where less than 5% survive the surgery. Survived the surgery. He survived the surgery, survived 3 years of chemo, survived several operations. The last one was in the summer or spring? He went in for an emergency one. I didn't know anything about it. He had severe lung pain. He went in and they did an emergency surgery. I don't know how long it was. It was many, many hours. And the truth came out that they did so much chemo, way too much. They burnt lung tissue. And there was pockets of air getting trapped, and it was causing him severe pain. But what was happening, the body was trying to heal it, and it would have eventually, but the pain was so severe, he went to emergency, and they did emergency surgery on him. And he went in on a dry fast, maintained the dry fast for 13 days in the hospital, where the doctors thought he was crazy. And he had no inflammation, healed very quickly. In 13 days, he had to check himself out because they were threatening to sue him and all kinds of crap because he was refusing all medications and everything. So, you know, this is where somebody with total faith in what he's doing is just enduring all the pain. And I'm telling you, this guy does not complain unless he's in severe pain. And poor guy, you know, I wish there was more we can do, but I sent herbs to Germany. The customs turned them back, refused them. So he had to make his own tinctures. It's costing him €350 to make 1 liter of tinctures. Way more than what he would buy them from me from. Just to buy all the herbs and the alcohol, €350 for a liter of tinctures. Insane. Anyway, when he ended up figuring out that he had to get the herbs and make them himself, he went out picking some dandelions, and he gets charged with criminal record and a €2,500 fine. This is the ludicrousy of our governments, folks. You think we got it tough? No, you know, he's got no family. He's an orphan from Bulgaria. He was doing work in Germany. Had a very successful business. Ends up collapsing, ends up finding himself in a hospital with testicular cancer, and that's how the story started. So we got it easy, folks, compared to what Marin's going for. I pray for the guy every day. He lost all his business. They robbed him of everything he owned. In the hospitals, they robbed him blind because they knew he had no family, and they used him as a guinea pig. This is the level of ludicrousy that's out there. Even his doctor goes to him, "I don't believe you're still alive." Just those words alone tells you that they know they're killing people and they're still doing it. They're a murderer, folks. My opinion only. They're freaking murderers.
And he owes 50,000 euros.
Yeah, and he owes 50,000 euros on top of it all, losing everything. For all the butchering they did, he owes 50,000 euros. So when we are having a slight headache or numbness or everything, just think about Marin. That really helps uplift me because, a little bit of head. Big deal. Big deal. If you can't breathe, and you can't breathe really, doing all the things and everything, then you may want to check into ER to stabilize or whatever, break your fast. But, get out of there, get it home as quickly as possible and continue. That's the only real time I suggest ER, unless another stupid thing that people are taking medications, for example, and they don't monitor like blood pressure and the insulin are the two ones that you have to monitor when you're on these fasts. And then they don't monitor and they take too much, whatever, and they cause issues that way. The herbs are never the problem. It's always the other stuff that's the issues. As long as people are monitoring and being smart, you'll be fine. So those are the only two medications that we really have to watch. Otherwise, all the healing reactions we get, we should be jumping for joy. Get cold and flu symptom, man, that's the best. The body is able to purge so much more when you get a cold, flu, fever, so much more. Like I pray for a cold and flu when I go on a fast, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's very important to remember that these are healing symptoms because many times we get scared.
Yeah.
We somehow sometimes we break our fast.
I still hear people making comments, oh man, this colder thing or whatever. And I just saw a video from Christina Raw. I just was watching it quickly. The title said rabies shots. I'm going, no way. She was in Bali. She gets bitten by a dog, gets inflamed. She got paranoid and went to get rabies shots. Okay? This is the ignorance out there, folks. This is the ignorance. It's just ignorance. I just don't know. I just don't know the level of ignorance out there. I don't know what to say. It's not judgmental. It's just showing the level of ignorance in the body's capability to heal. That's all it's showing.
Most people don't understand this. Most people don't understand. Like, they're doing raw food, but it's not enough,
Yeah,
it's the education.
You can't eat your way to health. You got to remove the food. You got to remove the food. It's the only way. I've tried doing it while eating, and you're going to plateau. You're going to plateau every time. I guzzled gallons of wheatgrass for years. And you just reach that plateau. Greens especially, you're only going to get so far. On Master Fast, I have not seen anybody being able to plateau. You push the gas and you'll keep going. How far you want to take it? There's no plateau on Master Fast I found yet. Like I'm explaining the story about Marin over 240 days, and he's pulling out crap that is unheard of. Like, this is what I'm trying to guide you to understand. This system has no plateau, folks. The plateau is when you've reached a state of pure cleansiness that the body has nothing else to purge. So there is no plateau. It's going to take you as far as you want to take it. That's what I'm discovering with this system, and it's pretty amazing. And for the people who don't understand, I can't explain it any simpler than that, I guess. You know, it's a beautiful thing for us to have been able to discover something like this to help us. Because there's a lot of sick people out there, and a lot of sick people who have been taken through the roller coaster ride. Nicole, you know, you can probably vouch for me and many others. There's a lot of bull crap out there. A lot of bull crap. A lot of people taking people's money, and people are not getting better. So, you see, folks, I put everything out there on a donation basis. If you can help out, all the dandy, but you know, it has to be done this way because the money gets in the way of the truth, is what I found. All the time. All the friggin' time. You know, I sell a few herbs and I sell them at very cheap prices for what's out there. You know, I make a little bit of money on that, but most people are not buying my herbs, which is okay. I don't care. You know, for the people who were able to support, you know, I thank them, and it's fantastic. If nobody supported, I wouldn't be able to be doing this. I'd be doing something else, but it's okay as long as I'm able to survive. Everything's good. It's just I've found I spent honestly easily $250,000 on supplements, minerals, herbs, systems, paying people, everything to do with trying to get healthy. I just kept spending, and it all came out to bullcrap at the end, most of it, which was it turned out to be a blessing from me going to all these different things, and it's very difficult for people to really believe how many things I've gone through. It's, but it was all for a reason. When I look back, it was for a very good reason. I had a lot of good teachers. I learned even from the people that robbed me. There's some things I learned from everybody. We learned from the children. We learn even more from the children. We learn the most. But we have to pull back and, you know, not try to judge, but we have to keep our minds open and look at the positive of what happened. You know, like I destroyed my health, but there's positive out of that because I learned, and boy, did I learn from destroying my health. After being at a very healthy state, just trying to get healthier, folks, I destroyed my health, believing in this guy's system, you know, so. You know, I was frustrated for a while, and that's what threw me off the raw path. I was raw, you know, I thought raw was raw and everything. I think I mentioned this story. That's what threw me off after, you know, wow, after all this, and I destroyed my health. Wow, it just threw me off psychologically, emotionally. So I'm back on track, you know, solving all the issues I've damaged, which were quite extensive. In a short, almost 3-year period. It wasn't even 3 years. It was just under 3 years. So, hey, this is life, and we live and learn. But I'm glad so many people are being able to be helped by the Massive Fast system. The Massive Fast system is not mine. It's just the information that came through all the experiences and the different teachers. We keep learning more. Like right now, we have a few people experimenting with the turpentine, which is something that I've been using in a different form. I've mentioned a herbalist friend of mine had a remedy from the spruce tree, which is the Christmas tree, and the same tree they make turpentine from. I have a video showing the lung cough tonic that we make with honey and spruce buds. And it tastes very similar to turpentine because it's from the same tree. It's an amazing cough lung tonic. We just make it with honey. We fill up the jar with the spruce buds. We have to pick them in the spring at a certain time. Fill it up with honey, and we add a few other herbs, bloodroot, ginger, wild ginger, and a few others, but mostly it's spruce bud. And it's a great, great tonic, great tonic. And so when this turpentine thing came up, and I looked into it, I go, wow, it's like the spruce bud. So I got myself some turpentine. I tasted and smelled. It's very similar. So a few of us have been experimenting on a master fast with some pretty good results. So this is something that, I'm looking to probably add into the protocol, which I'm very reluctant to add things. But in herbs, I'm very open to herbs, and this is another powerful herb. So I may be adding it to the protocol in the future for people who want to add it. There's people who have done turpentine in the past and got great results, and there's people who couldn't do it because there was just too much die-off and so on and so forth. I put my mother on a half a teaspoon a day, and she was starting to dump black crap out, and she was starting to get all itchy and everything, and then she stopped. This was for several weeks, and then she didn't want to do it anymore. So it's a powerful herb. It's another powerful herb. If you guys want to experiment, like I said, it's not part of the protocol, but I put it out there for people who want to experiment so we can get more feedback. It's all positive what I'm hearing so far, so it may be something I'll be adding to the protocol. I'm one for subtraction. That's the key. That's why dry fasting is the main ingredient to the master fast. It's a divine glorified dry fast. That's all the master fast is. But because we can't go dry for 180 days, not yet anyway, we have to have something to keep us going back and forth. And that going back and forth is really what makes this system shine. We go on the fluids with the herbs, and then we go dry, we go back and forth with the tissues. This forces hydration. This is where people don't understand hydration. You can drink all the water you want, you're just going to get more dehydrated, as I keep telling people. This system, with no water in your system, just through the juice and the teas, tinctures, this is how you get hydrated. Hydration is about hydrogen, not about water. And the body will get hydrated. You find a point where eventually the switch from dehydrated turns to hydration, and you don't get thirsty no more. It's a wonderful feeling. You don't get thirsty. You do a 3-4 day dry fast, and you really don't get thirsty. You might get a little bit of dry mouth, but there's no real thirst. I remember when I was doing 3, 4, 5 liters of water, alkaline water, whatever, all this stuff, all the different waters, distilled and all that. I was always thirsty, always in the can peeing. It was ludicrous. Every 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, going to the bathroom. Like, it was insane, and it was uncomfortable. So, these, as you look at the way this protocol is laid out, it's completely opposite to most everything everybody else is doing. We use all cooked ingredients. I tell people not to drink any water. I tell people to exercise, not anything vigorous, but I tell people to exercise. You got to move. Everybody else is telling you, you got to rest, and everything is opposite. So, the black sheep is usually the right one, going the other way. In our society and in all history, with all the great minds in our past, all the people who were doing the opposite of what society was promoting were always in the light of truth, is what I've seen and what I've read and so on and so forth, and what I've experienced. So, what's going to be next? I don't know. Next will be, everybody stop breathing, folks. We don't have to breathe anymore. And that's possible, I believe. That's a whole other level. There's Russian breatharians been experimenting with this. I'm not joking about this. When you've perfected the breath, you don't need the breath anymore. That's just a whole nother level for hard to comprehend, but this is where we I talked about plasma a little bit. We tap into plasma. Plasma gives you all the energy you need. So you don't need the breath if you're able to access the plasma of the universe. You don't need breath. You take all your energy you need. Before we're born into the physicality, you know, we're not breathing. We're just a form of energy. So there's no breath. There's no language. There's no talking. There's no eating. It's just energy exchanges. And you know, a lot of people go, this guy's really lost his rockers now.
That's
But
another dimension.
yeah, everything's possible. Keep your mind open like a baby, like a sponge. Don't close your mind to anything. As soon as you close your mind, you're gonna keep yourself from the truth. You got to keep it open. My mind's still wide open. I listen to everything and everybody. When I hear things from people that I've experienced, because when I experience something, I put them to the test. I don't just try things. I really put them to the test. So, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I've been through quite a bit to be able to help a lot of people.
It's also important to follow what makes sense to you. You know, universal laws, not just somebody talking about blood type, for example. Many people are big fans of blood type diet or whatever, paleo or like low carb.
Yeah, there's so much stuff
Of
out
course,
there.
they have the science. They have,
The white jackets, the paperwork.
and so it's hard to, and they want us to also be open-minded about it. But going back to the universe and why the fruit is the best food. It doesn't block us. I mean, it's good enough reason,
Yeah, it's the least obstructive out of all the foods, and the least karmic. Least karmic out of all the foods.
And absolutely nobody can argue with this. Not even people who do paleo diet cannot argue with this. Because it causes meats and animal products or protein causes constipation, and everybody knows this.
Yeah, fruit is the easiest thing, and the biggest problem with fruit in general is people mix it with other foods. Number one, that's the number one biggest problem with fruit. They mix it with other foods
Fruit is monomeat.
when it has to be eaten on its own. The other issue is they eat way too much. I notice even if I'm just on fruit and I eat too much, I'll be urinating too much. And that's not good. You feel the kidneys being stressed, even with fruit. This is why I say we need to train the bodies with less. We need to cut down. We need to do more dry fasting, keep more dry fasting as part of our life. More hours daily dry fasting, weekly, monthly, every season change. This is where you will see the efficiency of your body's capabilities go way up, because as the obstructions get removed out of the body, the vitality goes up. This is Arnold Ehret's formula, and it's a very valid formula. The less obstructions, the more your vitality, the more energy. It's a simple equation, but it's powerful. But to get to that state, it's difficult, especially when we've been eating crap our whole lives, animal products and dairy products and all the protein and everything and all the starches, and it just plugs up our system like no tomorrow. So our body's completely built of all this crap. And when people get on this master fast, you got so many people losing so much weight, it's common sense, the body's got to dump all the poor materials because it wants to build now. So, if you stay on this long enough, you will start gaining weight. Marin he leveled off, and he's putting on muscle. He's putting on muscle on the master fast, 200 days plus 340 days. I don't even have the mind to get to that state yet. That's a long fast, you know.
Determination.
But I pushed dry fasting quite a bit when I was in Italy, and when I came back, I pushed it quite a bit. It was a pretty wonderful experience to be able to push that much. When I did my 12 days in Italy of dry, it was an amazing experience. I reached a state of absolutely no desires, which I've never ever felt in my life before. And that's hard to explain it unless you've actually experienced it. I had absolutely zero desire of anything. And this happened when I reached about 7 days, I think it was. And I was getting information downloads, and it was just unbelievable. It was just a beautiful feeling, beautiful, beautiful feeling. And that stayed for me quite a bit because I continued with the master fast for 42 days. And of those 42, I did 26 dry in there of the 42 days I did in Italy. Yeah. So it was an amazing experience, pretty amazing. I suggest everybody, you know, if you're on the master fast, it's going to probably be very challenging to go more than 5-7 days because you're digging very, very deep on the master fast. But once you finish the long master fast and you start eating again, you know, after a month or two, I would suggest I highly would suggest you really push for a long dry fast. You'll be more mentally stronger, emotionally stronger to do a longer dry fast after you've done a long master fast and once you've started building again. And you know, and give you a good reset when you're eating. Because we need these resets. We need the reset because all of us, I don't care who it is, everybody's going to overeat one time or another. You're a little overstressed or whatever. You're going to overeat. And we all do it. And we need a reset. So, that noise. Somebody is trying to meet some people here. Yeah. So that's me blabbing about my mouth. But anybody else got anything to share?
Yeah, hi Gino.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Mario.
Hello, Mario.
Hello everybody. How are you?
Hi.
Excellent.
Just wanted to say hello and introduce myself and my girlfriend Linda.
Hi.
Hello, Linda.
Yeah, and thank you for everything you're doing.
We do our best.
Doing a great job. So yeah, I'm planning on starting the Master Fast in January. So I've just been in the background reading everybody's information and yeah, very impressed. And so yeah.
You've been around for a while, I think.
I have, yeah, I have. I've done, we're daily dry fasting, you know, for 12, 16 hours. We're incorporating just little bits and pieces of health, sort of promoting things to do, and we eat fruit but I have my weaknesses too. We seem to be strong during the day, but in the evening we start getting weak and I'm starting to eat the crap again and things. But yeah, like you, Gina, I've been doing lots of things over the years and trying this diet and these tablets, and you know, I'm keeping right away from big pharma's poisons, but I've tried all natural therapies and things, and got me nowhere. And yeah, so this is certainly the way to go. And I've done a couple of months on Dr. Morse's herbal formulas and things, and but now I'm ready for the Master Fast, which I'll be starting in January for sure.
Next, a lot of people are going to start in January, I believe.
Yeah, right, awesome.
Yeah.
We're from Australia. We live in New South Wales, Queensland, Australia.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to say hello to everybody.
Are you doing it together? for 108 days?
I'm going to be doing it, Rana, myself for 108 days. Linda's not quite ready.
Come on, Linda, join in. It's fun together.
She's a bit of a wuss. No, she hasn't. I've sort of done a lot more bits and pieces over the years than Linda. Linda's only starting to learn things now, so I don't think she has as much confidence. Not that I'm that confident either, but no. But everything you say, Gino, I just resonate with what you say. You're just spot on all the time.
Well, it's I only try and speak of what I've experienced to be something that is truth, I guess you can call it. We don't really know what truth is, but it has to be able to have a purpose and it has to work. Otherwise, I really don't want to talk about it because I've been down those paths where trying to believe in these theories and everything. No. Let me see something that works.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from. And, I put people on the SAD diet straight on, and some of them have done 108 days,
Yeah.
So let's put it this way. The first week to 2 weeks it can be the most challenging for most people. And if they're really, really acid, and then they don't even like the juice, so we'll go back to some green juices for a few days, maybe even a week to cool off, and then get back on the grape. But the only other issue is somebody who's really, really toxic, very severe cases like we have Marin going on right now at over 240 days, and he's going through a major, major healing reaction. But these are extreme cases. But 108 days, honestly, folks, most people should be able to do it. Most people should. It's not. If we look at the nutrition profile, which I believe is all bullshit, we're getting more than what most people are eating, folks. We're getting the juice, the lemon. We're getting all the herbs. There's a lot of nutrition in herbs if you think about it. But as I say, it's not about nutrition. It's about obstructions. You remove the obstructions, your body has everything it needs. And this is where a lot of people don't really understand and believe that. We have everything within. And the only thing keeping us from that is obstructions within our body. Once you clean up the obstructions, that's why your vitality goes up, because you're accessing what I call the inner plasma, which has is the all-knowing, the source of one creation, where everything comes from. Everything is there. It's all there. So we don't need to access anything from outside. That's why, we have issues where a lot of people have, what's it called? What's the word? When you can't absorb.
Oh, malabsorption.
Malabsorption, yeah. So many malabsorption issues. Either somebody's very, very thin or they just hold on to everything. These are both malabsorption issues. And it's not malabsorption of the physicality of the foods. It's field interactions within the GI tract. Because there's nothing absorbed physically. If there's holes in our vacuum system, we have big problems of stuff entering the blood system. Of what do they call that? Today my mind's not working great. It's a little bit of a headache, but the GI tract, when it enters the GI tract, what's that called? Leaky gut. Leaky gut. When we have leaky gut, that's a big problem because we're having issues through that vacuum system. It's a vacuum system. So when we have the food going through, all it is field interaction. Now, when that little villi, that fine microscopic villi throughout the GI tract, the intestines and everything, is all plugged up with plaque, we don't have a proper field interaction. And this is the problem. It's disturbed. The fields, those are like little antennas. So we're having a distorted field. And either you can't absorb anything or the body just holds to the physicality of the foods, which are not foods. And this is where we have to clean that out so we can get that proper field interaction. If we clean that out to a degree where there's absolutely no obstruction, we don't need anything because we absorb from the cosmos. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And that's why there are people who live on no food and no water. There are people out there. Whether we believe it or not, they're out there. I know it's possible. Because I've tasted it. And it's just a matter of cleaning these obstructions. So how do we clean these obstructions? We have to stop eating. And doing it on a water fast, it's too difficult, folks, and it's too stressful. I've tried these water fasts. I've never felt comfortable with water fast. And raw juice fasts are only going to get you so far. Sorry, I've done those too, and I've put them to the.
I've done 100 days.
Yeah, I did extreme. You plateau on those.
There's really no power.
So, you know, this is where we need a little bit of help from the universe, I say, and with a little bit of the plasma technology, a little understanding that I got from it. You know, I was raw as law, like everybody else. I've been there. I wouldn't touch anything cooked. But, you know, my first fast in 1990 was with Concord grape juice bottled, cooked. And it kicked my ass. I got in bed for 2 years. I've said this story many times. It burnt out my kidneys. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get help from anybody. I searched so many people, acupuncture doctors, this, that. Nobody was really able to help me. And so I struggled for 2 years, basically bedridden, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And it took me many, many more years after that to really know and understand what happened back then. It was the Concord juice is so powerful. Now that we add lemon to it, it takes it to another level, plasmatically. And it's such a powerful cleanser. That's why I don't support people who want to say, oh, I can't afford herbs. I just want to drink the juice. Fine, go somewhere else. I don't want to deal with you, because I've been down that path, and herbs are such cheap insurance. It's ridiculous that somebody cannot afford this system. It's ridiculous. Unless you're just eating rice and potatoes, I can't see why you can't afford to be on the system. Really.
Make your own herb.
Yeah, you can go pick your own herbs. Go buy your own herbs. Make your own tinctures. If there's a will, there's a way to do the system. Because it is cheaper than eating by far for 90% of people. Yes, there are some people who probably are in a very challenging financial situation, and probably that's why they're sick. They go hand in hand. So, you know, I've been there, you know, so we need to come out of this states and change things, because most people who are sick are in financial situations, difficulties, you know, so that's why I do what I do, and I try and help as many as we can. But those experiences I had taught me really, really, really good lessons. You know, all the doctors want to do is cut me open and drugs, and I said, no way. No way. I refused it all, being so stubborn, and had to learn my own way. But I went through severe pains, boy, oh boy, oh boy. It was very, very, very chronic, severe sciatic nerve pain from the kidney all the way down my leg, burning in the bladder. It was severe. It was a horrible experience, but it was a blessing in disguise to be able to learn what I learned from that experience. But that's where originally the Concord grape juice came out. And then in 2000, I went raw, 100%, never looked back. And I did that for over 9 years. And mostly after that, I was always, even now, mostly raw. But I didn't even want to look at cooked juices or anything, you know what I mean? But once I started studying the space technology, Keshe Spaceship Institute, things were opening up in a little different realm. And that's where my friend Max, you know, started talking about one of his friends' brothers cured his lung cancer with the Welch's grape juice. And I go, oh, yeah, I know about the Concord. You know, it's cooked, man. I was kind of closed-minded to it. But, you know, listening to the Spaceship Institute plasma teachings and stuff, my mind started opening again of what we were being taught about how we open things up atomically with heat or with caustic. And then the light went on. The light went on with the juice. I'm going, holy mac, could this be possible? My memories went back to my initial experience. And they says, it's got to be it. I go, if we add some lemon, huge gradient, we're going to get a strong field interaction. Bang. got on I put a couple of people on it, and they were getting amazing results. And then it was March of last year, I think I started. I go, I'm going to go for 40 days. I reached 40 days. I go, no, I'm going to go for 90. And then I go, no, I'm going to go for the magic 108 days. So that's how that happened. And the rest is history. We started sharing it online and figuring out, a system, helping with the herbs and everything. That was part of my initial way of doing it because of what happened for me in the past and what I've learned through Dr. Morse of how to use herbs. He's a master at that. But eating fruit and herbs plateaued very quickly, very quickly. I was able to help my dad up to a limit. He didn't want to fast, and he passed on. He had a severe weak heart valve condition, and herbs only got him so far, and then he started getting back into a little bit of my mother's cooking, and he passed on. Herbs only get you so far. You can't heal deep-rooted issues eating. I don't believe it. You gotta fast. You gotta fast to get that deep-rooted physicality issues solved, which are attached to the emotion, and they all come up on the Master Fast. Talk to anybody who's done a long Master Fast. They all go through emotional healing. It's all comes to the surface, and this is where we help with the enemas. Even helps emotionally. Just get things flowing. Got parasites, this, done, whatever. You got to keep things flowing. Keep things flowing. That's the key about doing these long fasts. Got to keep things flowing. Even if you're moving your bowels every day, it would be wise to do an enema every day just to keep things flowing. Ain't going to hurt you. It'll only make things easier. A lot of people are frustrated or they don't want to do enemas. I'm telling you, folks, they're going to be your best friend in these times. They only will help. A lot of people are against enemas. They don't weaken your bowels. It's all bull crap. Water in your colon, just think of it as an exercise of a weight on a muscle. That's all it is. It strengthens your colon. Everybody who's done the Master Fast, talk to it. And a lot of people they're on their second Master Fast. They don't have any bowel issues. They move their bowels on their own because their bowels are so much stronger. So it just strengthens your bowels doing colonics and enemas. I would suggest at least one colonic a week, even if you're doing enemas a day, because that just goes a little further. And it's only going to help you.
If you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it, whatever. But if you can, use the enema bag or get a colima board. You buy it once and you do that every day, 5-gallon pail. It's only going to help you, folks. It's much easier to colima board. That's what I have at home. I got tired of using the enema bag. Just you lie down in your bathroom with the 5-gallon pail and you let the water in and out. It's very comfortable. And it's about 40 minutes. I could do 5 gallons. With an enema bag, to do 5 gallons, it would take me hours. So there's little tools that we can use. And that thing you buy once and it lasts you many years. Enema bag is great to have when you travel. Never travel without an enema bag. Anytime you have an issue, use your enema bag. Pull it out. But so this is the basic things that how we came to put the Master Fast together with all the different teachers and so on. I have many others. My first book was Arnold Harrit. I've mentioned that several times. That was my first book somebody handed me in 1990, and that's when I started fasting. Because of that book, I changed my life around. Question?
Yeah, there's a question from Candy. Hello, everyone. I noticed a metal-like taste in my mouth starting on a short 11-day eating fast. I did. And then again on day 3 of a 7-day. Can you talk a little bit about it? She's curious to hear.
Yeah, that happens. It's just the body pulling out garbage. Does she have any metal amalgams in her mouth?
Do you have any amalgams, Candy? Can you talk to us?
Can you talk
Maybe
or type?
Unmute yourself or type.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. No, I had them removed in November of 2015. So
Okay.
I don't have more metal in there. And
So
I left them. I didn't have anything put back in them either. I just had them leave them as holes. And I haven't had the first minute's trouble at all. with it. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's wise, leaving the holes. You know, they may regenerate. But you've had metal, so that's an issue that the body could be pulling out the metals that your body has been stored. And this is what happens on fasting. A few people get this metal taste, and then it goes away. It's not a pleasant taste. I had it for like about a week one time. It was horrific metal. It wouldn't go away no matter what. And then it just cleared up. These are things that you have to trust when you're on a fast. The body is just dumping things that it doesn't want, doesn't need, and can't use. That's all it's doing. You got to keep the trust and the faith. And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant sometimes, but keep the faith, keep the trust, and keep going. Are you doing any dry fasting?
Yeah, I'm doing 12-hour daily, and I did 17 hours today, so I'm working up on that. Yeah.
Excellent. How long have you been on?
Oh, you know what? I did 11 days easy, pretty much, you know, and then I was waiting on my psyllium husk to come because my bowels had got to where it was just straight liquid. And
yeah, that's showing you're very acidic. Okay, that's good. Sometimes it can stay for 2 weeks. Use the psyllium, take a little extra of that, but also use baking soda enemas. They'll help cool it off.
She wasn't using the psyllium at that point.
Okay.
right, and then so I got my mix, and then all that stopped. So, and then I did a 7-day, and then it just seems like I just went to hell. You know what I mean? I just kept starting over day one, and then I'd be like, then I'd blow it, then I'd be like, okay, day one, all right, and then here we go again, and they're like, all right, day one, you know. So I had a lot of day ones, you know, and
it happens. It happens.
I will say this: I can still see results from the 11-day I did. It's so cool. It's like my bladder has done a 360. I mean, Linda, I say to you, if you have any issue, it's pretty cool stuff. My bowels even work better, even after an 11-day. I mean, and that's nothing. I mean, you guys have done, you know, and my goal is to do a 40-day. So that's what I want to do. And so I just figure start now. Now's a good time to do it where I am. I'm in Tennessee. So it's pretty easy. Lemons and grape juice. That's simple. Keep it simple.
Yep. That is a very, very simple program. I get confused when people say they don't understand the system. You know, we're drinking grape juice and lemons. We're drinking a herbal tea. We're using tinctures, and we're taking the psyllium pudding and dry fasting windows. Like, I don't know how much more simple I can put it, but
because the protocol is very detailed, so people get
But you know, yeah, man.
They think it's complicated. But
like
it's not.
I suggest everybody write down their goals. The power of the pen. It's magical, folks. Whether you believe it or not, write them down and keep your goals somewhere where you can see them daily. Just see them, glance at them, whatever. You don't have to read them. It's magical what happens. I wrote down things years ago, and they almost came out exactly how I wrote them down. Exactly. It's just amazing. So that's very important. Write down your goals and stay focused. The whole thing about getting into a fast is the mindset. It's all emotional. So what I like to do, I prepare myself for a week or 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks mentally before I want to do a fast. And sometimes I'll jump right in. Okay, this is it. I'm jumping in. I do both ways. So some people do better with the planning. Some people do better with jumping in. Everybody's different. So you're going to have to try both. So, you know, plan, but always mentally prepare yourself. And even when you're in the fast, you need to mentally prepare yourself to break the fast, which is just as, if not more important than the fast itself. Because that's where a lot of people fail. And they start going crazy and eating everything, and it can do damage. And if you eat the wrong foods as well, you know, you can do damage to yourself, especially after a long fast. So you have to be wise. If you're going to cheat, there's wise ways to cheat, you know. some steamed veggies or something, or baked veggies. You don't want to be going to the grains and all that could plug you up and cause an obstruction and end up going to the hospital. So, there's many different ways, but the system is straightforward, simple. Most people should be able to do this if they choose health. If they choose health. And not everybody does, as you guys know. I have friends of mine that 26 years, I've been telling them, when are you going to start? And they're just getting sicker and pains. All they do is complain about pains here, there, and the other thing. And they look like they're, 20, 30 years older than I. And they just don't want to do it. And I've made a post recently about how the word love has been abused for so long, we can't associate the feeling of it anymore. We're numbed by that word. We don't know what love is, folks. Pain, we know what pain is. We can associate with pain, and that's what is attracted to us subconsciously. That's the issue, folks, that we all have to deal with. And we all have these challenges. We can feel pain. And subconsciously we feel it, so we keep doing things to keep feeling pain. This is the biggest challenge for all of us. You, all of you, and myself, and everybody else. That's what I figured is the issue. The root cause of all our issues is our attachment subconsciously to the feeling of pain. When I was in Italy, after those 12 days dry, and I continued all that master fast and everything, I was completely free of pain, folks, completely free. And then a month later, I went to visit my ex-mother-in-law. And guess what? I'm thinking, what happens if I eat a little bit of this and that? This to not cause any friction with the ex-mother-in-law. So I indulge a little bit of here and there. And you know what, folks? I'm still paying for some of those indulgements. Months later. This is how real it is, folks. And it's pretty crazy, the things we do to ourselves. But I keep looking at it. This always comes up. This is the issue. We love pain programs in our subconscious. We don't have a real, pure feeling, attachment to that love feeling. We don't have that. The closest thing we probably have is from the motherly love. And what's it attached to? Cooked food. That's what's attached to. And that's where the pain is also attached, because the cooked food brings us to where we are today in pain. I don't know if you guys can add on anything I'm talking about here. That's the way I look at it. And if I make it any sense, it's very, very challenging for us. Very challenging. And that's what I think is the root problem. So we need to work on this somehow and find a way to, overcome this. And the long fasts bring it up in our face. Really do. And even sometimes after these long fasts, we go back, like I just told you my experience, So we just need to keep going, keep pursuing, keep a maintenance system. Eventually we're going to stop hitting our head against the wall and say that's enough. And because we'll do it less and less and less. Because every time I'll go to my mother's house, for instance, and you smell the cooking of what you grew up on, which is the most addictive. And I'm thinking, okay, do I want to feel the pain again? That's what goes through my mind now. But and then sometimes I'll give in, and next day I'll feel it. But I'm just saying, that's what goes through my mind when I'm looking at these foods. Do I want to feel that pain again? Because it happens every time. No matter how much I bless it, no matter what, I still feel it the next day. The next morning, I feel it. Grains are the worst for me. Out of everything, grains are the worst.
I believe it's easier to be focused when you're fasting than when you're eating.
Yeah.
Like
When you're in the fast,
yeah, it's very easy. Fasting, it's very easy to say, you know, I feel amazing right now.
It's the first week or two people have the challenge. It's only because the GI tract has to empty out. Once the GI tract starts emptying out on a fast, you feel much lighter and your mind is clear. And then for some people, when they start getting into the long ones, over 80, 90, 100 days, it starts getting back into the emotional things again deeper, because we're going into deeper emotional levels. That's what's all happening, folks. Eating, my belief, is nothing to do with physicality. It's only to do with settling our emotion. I'm convinced. That's all it's for. I'm totally convinced of that. It has nothing to do with nutrition. It's only to settle emotion. Because if you guys read the article, Kesh, Living on Light, it's in the file section. It's the nitrogen that gives us all our energy. Most of it. Right now, even though we're eating, we're getting 80% at least of our energy from the nitrogen in the air, whether we know it or not. We're getting 20% or less from physical foods. So we're already doing it, folks. And that's why, as you keep practicing dry fasting and keep removing obstructions, you'll be able to go longer and longer and longer. It doesn't matter if it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Who cares? It's not a race. But we want to finish the race, and we want to be healthy finished in the race. So this is the key to have a maintenance system. So I don't know if anybody has any comments on what I've just discussed, because this is where I feel is the root issues to everything, where I have not seen many people really bring these things up in this way. I don't really see much. I'll see people, talking about emotional certain things, and people talking about the food and natural health and everything. But to try and wrap it all together, I haven't seen many things out there myself. If anybody else can mention anything that they've come across, experiences. I try and put things as in a way that most of us can explain it, because I learned mostly everything on the street, and I didn't even get my grade 12 diploma. I failed English in grade 11 because I didn't like the teacher, so I just went out and smoked pot for that hour and hash. so I failed it because I didn't like the teacher, but
the less education, the better.
Exactly.
The indoctrination centers, that's all they are.
Yeah. Then we find out the hard way, boy. Oh boy. But can you guys relate to anything I'm talking about?
I totally agree with what you say, Gino. With regards to food, also, I heard you say it on a video the other day that everything in life revolves around food. You go out and you go to some nice area, and what do? You go somewhere to find a nice place to have lunch, and you go to a friend's house and it's to have drinks or to have eats, or you go to see your parents and they just offer you food. Everything. That's the hard bit I find too, is trying to live your life without involving food.
Yeah, that's the key. If we can unlock that key to never have to have that as an issue anymore, the problem's solved. But that's the biggest challenge for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, if you have raw vegan or just vegan, I'm sure you have experienced this before already, right?
Yeah. See, I mentioned I was 100% raw for over 9 years. 100%. I didn't touch anything cooked. Nobody could budge me. Sorry, that's okay. It was not an issue. But after I damaged myself after that, trying to get myself better, it psychologically, emotionally set me back somehow. And it's not as easy for me now as it was back then, I'll have to admit. It really set me back to some degree. But, you know, I'm slowly getting the strength, slowly, doing more and more fast, and slowly it's coming. And this is where, like I said, just keep pushing, keep a maintenance system, keep pushing. And then, you know, try and do the first one. Your first one is a long one. Then you don't really have to do a long one ever again. Just do a maintenance, because as long as you eat clean after, mostly, you're not going to get gunked up like we did for all our life. It's not going to happen that quick. So, you know, we just need a maintenance system to keep it clean. You know, 240 days, spring and fall, you're going to stay very healthy. And you're going to psychologically get stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, most folks live to eat, because life is revolves around food. Every freaking thing, man. Funerals, weddings.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to somebody about, for example, when I used to do raw foods, people, when I talk about raw foods, people are like, oh no, I love food so way too much. I'm thinking, excuse me, I love food way, like, I don't know anybody who loves food more than I do, you know. Like, I mean, when you eat raw foods, you see these raw fooders eating their food, they're like enjoying every bite, and they're tasting the real food, you know. So it's, you know, all these excuses that, no, you know, I love food, I cannot give up food. Well, it's not about giving up, really. It's another way of enjoying food. No, there's more joy in raw food. There's more joy even in fasting. There is. It's not about giving up, that's for sure. If anything, it's a joy. There is something about fasting that makes us want to do it again.
Yeah, we have a few other people. Who do we have here? We have iPad, somebody on iPad. We have somebody on Max's iPad. Connie, Candy, Sherry, Katie. Anybody else? I don't have the gift of the gab, folks. Oh, how's Nancy? How you doing, Nancy? Can you hear me, Nancy?
Hello.
Hi.
How are ya?
Very good. You?
Good.
How you been doing?
Well, actually, yesterday I went to have a gua sha treatment. Someone on here had recommended that.
Yeah.
And my skin feels fantastic. I know. It's amazing. It feels a little bit tingly, like it's brand new baby skin, but it doesn't itch. I haven't scratched all day.
Get yourself some of those gua sha spoon things and do it yourself.
Okay. I just needed somebody to do it first so I could understand what it was like.
Yeah. What did they use? Coconut oil?
They used holy basil oil.
Okay. Oh, okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice. And she did a really good job. And it's amazing.
You're healing, Nancy. You're going
Yay.
deep. It's all coming out.
Yeah. Yes.
And, you know, you just need a little bit of help. And these things mechanically will help. So it's because it's been stagnant for all these years.
Right.
So things are going to help you, you know. So
Yay.
that's why I suggest the rolling pin, whatever. Try to move things.
Oh, and I got a rolling pin at the thrift store today. Yay. I have a question. If I add grape juice to my tea,
Yeah.
and then I add lemon to that, can I just drink that throughout the day? Or do I need to have...
You can try it. I'm not a big fan of mixing herbs with juice, but try it out. Go for a day or two. Let us know.
Okay.
I'm not against everything.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Put it all in one cup and just drink that. And
There's somebody who actually made their tea with grape juice.
yeah, that's what I did.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, not the whole. I made it with water and then I added grape juice.
No, there's somebody who actually boiled the grape juice with
Yeah.
herbs. So, try different things. These things, they're all they're not gonna take from the system if you're smart about it. We have all the basics there. As long as we have the gradient of things in there, the fields are happening. People, I still get people, not as much as when I started, making fun of the cooked juice, because the results are just outstanding. So many that people are starting to shut up now and listen. It's ridiculous. They can keep making fun. It doesn't matter anymore. But at the beginning, I was ridiculed for months and months.
Oh,
and
I
months.
can imagine.
Holy mac, and whatever.
It's easier now.
It's well, it's just the results speak loud. That's all I can say.
Would there be a problem reboiling the juice? Because the juice
No.
that I buy, it doesn't say pasteurized or not pasteurized, so I don't know. I would presume most of juice are pasteurized. They have to be in Europe. But
They're all pasteurized in the bottle.
It's fast.
Otherwise, if it's fresh pressed and it's raw, it has to have a date, and usually it'll be like a week max,
It has to be in the
Okay.
fridge.
and it'll be in the fridge. It's all pasteurized if it's bottled.
It goes bad.
and
Yeah.
also, when you use the tinctures or the herbs when you want to dry, let's say, if I wanted to push my dry further, like you said, go dry as long as I can, and then I wanted to go a little further, but I was not feeling it, so then introduce the herbs, but maybe swish it in your mouth or so. How would you do it? Would you use just the tincture straight with the alcohol, with the spirit, or would you do it in hot?
I use them straight up.
Whatever.
It's at the beginning, if you're not used to, you might get a bit of a burn or whatever, but you'll get used to it, and it refreshes the mouth, especially when it goes dry. It's a beautiful feeling. I love herbs. I love herbs. I love herbs, and
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how bitter or whatever. I love all the flavor of the herbs, and people who don't like the flavors at the beginning, eventually they start liking them. If you fight it, you'll never like them. Like I remember Sid mentioning to her 3-year-old boy that she adopted, she was giving him the herbs at the beginning, he would be freaking out, and then he started dumping all kinds of stuff, like worms and everything, live worms. She put them on the hybrid. And after, she said when she would bring the herbs, he would open his mouth. This is a 3-year-old kid, So this is the power of herbs. Just embrace them and love the flavors. No matter how bitter, just pretend it, fake it till you make it. Eventually, you'll like them because they're there to do you good. They're there to help you. They are magical. They're magical beings. and people who say herbs are toxic, yeah, they're toxic for toxic people because they don't know what the hell to do with them. They do their magic when you're fasting so much. When you're eating, and like I said, the toxic herbs are the most powerful ones, but you really got to know what to do with them because the difference between a medicine and the poison is dosage. In Ayurvedic medicine, I believe they say there is nothing you cannot use as a medicine in nature. Nothing. All the poisons, all the non-poisons, all the plants, everything can be used, but you need to know what you're doing with them. The toxic ones, you really have to understand. You really got to know. You just don't play around with toxic herbs because you can kill yourself if you don't know what you're doing. But when you use them properly, they will take you to another level. And because sometimes the obstructions and the stagnation is so much in areas of our body that we need a little bit of help. And that's what these toxic herbs do. I've explained it before. They're strong pullers. Herbs in general are pullers. They grow on the ground. They got a gravitational pull, much stronger, like a fruit has more of a magnetical, more of a feeder, versus a herb is more of a taker. And that's why they're healers, because it's not what we need to take in that heals, as I explained this before. It's what we need to let go of. It's the obstructions, and herbs help us do that. It helps take the obstructions, the stagnation out of us. That's all that herbs do, folks. It's not what they give us. That's why I say nutrition is bull crap. Now, then people will say, well, when somebody starts taking some minerals and vitamins, they feel better. Okay, well, look at that. The GI tract is so plugged up that it can't use its access of what it has within. So when you start introducing these other things, it starts grabbing from those things and you start feeling a little bit better. What happens when you stop taking them? You go right back very quickly because you haven't solved anything. You have not solved anything with what they call nutrition and minerals and vitamins and so on and so forth, or drugs or whatever. They don't solve the root issues. The root issues are obstructions in physicality and emotions. So that's where, you know, Nancy, you're going on, you're on track. You're going to be a new being. You're doing great. You've had some great challenges. I praise you for sticking it out and keep going.
Thank you, Gino.
I've seen what you were going through, and I went through a skin issue nowhere near what you went through. But I went in those 2 years when I was in bed, I had these outbreaks, and it was horrific. It's just like you want to just tear your brain out because of the itch.
Yes.
And I understand what you're going through. So, you know, I'm glad you're sticking it out because there's no other answer for you, Nancy.
Oh, I know that. There's nowhere for me to go.
You're solving your issue. You're in the works. Will 108 days solve it all? Probably not. Probably not.
I'm on day 88 though.
Yeah, it's a great start. And if you can go more than 108, it's mentally, go a little more if you can. If not, break it. And probably I would suggest for you, go on the hybrid.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, yeah. And if you need a little bit of time off with some green juice to ground yourself, do that. But stay focused. Stay focused.
I'd rather have fruit than green juice any day.
Well, I'm just saying, some people need to reground and whatever. That's why there's so many options. It's not one thing. Everybody's different. But you're on track. You're on track to healing yourself completely. You've come such a long way. I don't know if you guys know, but Nancy had a severe skin issue, and it's like I'm talking about severe, folks. So she can tell you the story when she's ready. It's amazing what the body can do with nothing. You know, we're just eating a little bit with some juice, some herbs, you know, and then we do dry fasting. That's where the real magic happens, folks. Real magic, you know, and we go back and forth, as I was saying. That's how the magic happens. So your body can heal anything. Your body can heal anything. I don't think there's anything that the body cannot heal. I think the body can regrow anything too. You know, if they cut something out, I think it can grow. If you dig deep enough, far enough, I believe the body can regenerate it. I'm really interested on Martin's case because they've taken out so much of his lymphatic system. I don't know what's going to happen there. Will this body grow a new lymphatic system? I don't know. Maybe. Like I said, it's who knows. You know, at these levels of healing, like we're doing all kinds of stuff. But Gabriel's is not on tonight. He was paralyzed. He's no longer paralyzed. He's almost there. He's almost completely healed himself. He's about 85% got all his feeling back. And then neurological cases are one of the toughest out of everything. You know, besides being butchered up to death, Gabriel's was also butchered up with several operations that were needed and so on and so forth. He fell out of the sky, you know, with his parachute didn't open, hit the water. His right side of his body was paralyzed. It was 10 days in a coma. Came out of that and
10 surgeries?
Yeah, 10 surgeries in 10 months, I believe, or something. So, you know, folks, everything's possible. You know, candida issues, this, that, some cancers and so on and so forth. We have Linda, who's had her tumor on her kidney shrink almost to nothing. Probably gone by now. It doesn't matter what it is. These medical mafia names, we really got to let them go. We don't want any part of them. It's all bullshit to me. Bullshit. Bullshit. You gotta have a bullshit horn. Bullshit.
And then they're starting 108 days now.
Yeah, she did 90. She's gonna go do 108 with her daughter and her son.
I have
So,
another question.
yeah, sure.
I have a spot on my arm where I just noticed it, and it feels like underneath the skin there's a little, well, what I think it is when I was younger, I got hit in the arm with a pencil, and the pencil lead broke off in my arm. And I kind of forgot about it for years and years, and my arm was so fat before I didn't notice it. But now that my arm is really skinny, I can feel this. It's like there's a little scab around it.
Wow.
It might be that piece of lead in there. What can I do to get that out? Get the
Um,
lead out.
some kind of poultice to
graphite.
pull it out.
Like a drawing salve?
Yeah, some kind of drawing salve or something.
Connie says castor oil.
Castor oil, yeah, you can loosen it up with castor oil. I think even flaxseed or chia seeds, I think actually
Hilal tea.
Yeah, you can mix them with the Hilal tea.
Okay. And like a little poultice.
Yeah, try a few different. I'm just trying to think what else can you use there.
I thought about black salve, but that's
Clay, you can mix clay in there. Clay is also drying. Mix a little bit of everything. Put it on there. And just get a bandage and put it on and change it every day. You fresh it up.
okay.
See what happens. See if it pulls it out. Your body's probably trying to get rid of it. There's a little piece stuck in there. Could be even a microscopic piece. The body's going to want to push it out.
Okay. Well, thanks.
This is the magic of fasting. It heals things that we didn't even know we had. I was just curious, how much did they charge for this gua sha treatment? Did they do your whole body?
It was $25, and it was not. She didn't do my whole body, just the parts where I told her where it was really inflamed. She was a little reluctant to do it because my skin was so inflamed, but I talked her into it, and she's so. She was an acupuncturist. And
Great, excellent,
yeah,
excellent, nice.
she said she'd never done it on inflamed skin before. So,
It's only going to promote healing to bring circulation in the area, move lymph.
right. She used like a stainless steel, kind of a round, circular.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The ones I've seen people use are made out of either horns or like bull horns or something. Wooden ones.
Oh.
Stainless steel. I've never seen anybody do with metal, but anyway, interesting.
Yeah, she said you can do it at home with a quarter, but I thought I don't really want to be using a quarter on my skin.
Yeah. You can use a big spoon, I guess.
Yeah, she said that too.
Yeah. But you need a fine edge, but it's got to be rounded so it doesn't cut you. Maybe a big wooden spoon of some sort. Yeah, it's nice. There's so many tools we can use.
And that holy basil oil was really nice too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice for the nice adrenal food and so many other things. Holy basil, all the basils. I love basil.
Basil. Yeah.
Connie is saying black salt won't work because it's most likely not cancerous. But
Yeah. Well, that's why I was trying to think of like a clay. Clay is generally a drawing, and flaxseed or the castor oil. You can a bit of everything. Mix them all together, and that's make yourself a poultice.
Okay, I'll do it.
Bandage, tape it up.
All right. Thanks.
you don't have to have an opening to have it pulled out.
No, you got pores. The body finds a way.
It's like it's inside a little scab inside underneath my arm.
Yeah, that's why every day just change it and see what happens. So you feel any pain at all if you push on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So just do that, and eventually you may not even know it comes out because it might be microscopic. And then one day you're going to go and you're going to go, there's no more pain, so it's gone.
Okay.
And then it'll heal up.
Thanks.
Anybody else? We got a few more minutes. We keep them at 2 hours. It's more than enough of me babbling. But these get-togethers, I like them. You know, it's instead of being out watching everybody eat and drink, we're here trying to take care of our health. I find this more exciting. You know, we're all over the world, so, you know, if we can snap our fingers and be together, it'd be nice. That'll happen one day, soon enough.
Yeah, Gino, I've started watching the Kish Foundation kids workshops that you recommended, and I highly recommend that to everybody. They're really interesting.
Yeah. After you watch all those, watch the health workshops.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to get a whole different idea of the body and how it works compared to what we were taught. You know, like the lymph is the energy system, and then the blood's the waste system. Opposite of what we've been taught. Yeah.
Yeah, I find in life in general, everything we've been told is bullshit. The opposite is true.
Yeah.
As you keep saying as well, the system is just so purposely set up to keep us in the dark, you know. And yeah, I think eventually also people need to learn about this straw man that came up before, to learn about who they actually are later on down the track, in addition to healing their bodies. But
yeah, the legal system has enslaved us all, right? Through the paper, the money, and the contracts, bullcrap. It's all bullcrap.
That's right.
That's how we've been enslaved. Like it's so funny. The solution can happen instantly. Everybody stop using money. It's done.
Yeah.
It's finished. It's over.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
People are too conditioned. They believe they need it.
Yeah. Do you follow the Ubuntu movement at all?
I've read about that. For a few years we used to have meetings about all this legal straw man bull crap.
Yeah.
And then I found it was so draining.
Yeah.
That's enough of this. That's enough. I don't want to put any more energy in this stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a basic understanding of it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I agree. It's the same with the chemtrails and all the other things. It just drains you. You know.
Let's focus on keeping the plasma love flowing. Let's focus on what we want. Let's be the examples. Forget about focusing on their garbage. The more we focus on it, the more we're enslaved with it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, they want to fine you and everything. Pay them their freaking paper money. You can't take it with you. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people struggling and everything, but I hope it comes to an end soon enough. I hope people wake up. People are waking up more and more. But really, like the whole tax system and everything, everybody just has to stop paying taxes. It's done. It's done. Even if we continue using money, everybody stop paying taxes tomorrow. It's done.
Yeah.
We don't need a government to be governed. We're big boys, big girls. We can take care of ourselves.
Yep.
But if you talk to people, they'll fight you to death to support the government. That's how much they are.
Exactly.
And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with mind-controlled population that are so constipated, they don't know if their head from their ass. So that's the truth of the matter. A constipated being is easy to mind control.
That's right.
Give them a dozen donuts, start mind controlling them. They're easy.
Yeah. And that leads on to another question then. What sort of clarity do you get as your mind is, as your body is being cleansed? You must gain a lot of clarity and intelligence.
Oh, yeah, especially on the dry fast, and especially when I go on my bike rides on the dry fast.
Right.
It was amazing. When I was in Italy, I was swimming in the sea in the winter, and that really just opened me up. That was a wonderful experience. I've been practicing over here. I haven't had the the balls to do it yet in the lake here. It's much colder, but it was cold there. Never mind, it was cold. Yeah, when you do the fasting, it really opens you up to a different form of energy and information. That's where I get a lot of my ideas, fasting. I haven't been bike riding much since the weather's been crappy and everything and stuff like that. And I've been doing some of this toxic herb, and it really, really drained me. For this past month, I've been falling back a little bit on my exercise routine, so I have to jump back in and get myself back on board. But we all get there. We go up and down. But as long as you stay focused and jump back in, you know. But yeah, folks, this is where the more I found, the more we fast, the more cleaner your mind gets clear, and you start getting information and seeing things that you couldn't see before. That's why when we talk to people in the so-called natural health movement, they are the people that are more open-minded to more so in like the strawman stuff and all the other stuff and the banking and everything. When you talk to the average person, they're just like, they think you're from another planet because they're so constipated. So yeah, the more you clean yourself out, the more the mind opens up. The obstructions are what interfere with our field interactions with the universe. That's what I believe. So we could become clear. We get a clear antenna. What's the word I'm looking for? A clear field interaction. That's all. It's clear. It's no obstructions. So we're able to see it much clearer than we were before. You know, when I look at my life way back when I was eating meat and everything, I didn't know anything about anything. You know. And then, you know, once you wake up, you go, holy man, how did I ever live like that? Because life was like that, you know what I mean? You're going to doctors for the aches and pains and this and that. And, you know, you're not using your mind. Everything's completely shut down. You're expecting somebody else to do things for you and all that. So, yeah, it was a big wake-up call for me to do that stuff. Like this straw man stuff, it was in... what year was it? I think it was right before or right after I started doing my fasting. I don't remember exactly. And it was a big wake-up call about the taxation system and everything. It was very close timing between the two. But yeah, you know, in Ontario here, this province in Canada, we now have the highest electricity rates in all North America. The new government that went in, she's a real wacko, very constipated. If you just look at her, she's looped. There's people choosing to turn off their heat because they can't afford it, so they can eat. That's where we've come to in Ontario. Yeah. This is not a third world country, folks. That's how bad it's gone here. From when I bought my home in '99, my electrical bills were less than $99 every 2 months. Now they're $300 to $400.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm not one to consume a lot. So I try to keep things, got LED bulbs and stuff, but this is the mentality, and you know, people should be you know, doing something about it. They just pay, you know, like you can't do it on your own. People got to do it all together. You can't do it on your own. It ain't gonna work. Standing there alone, they're just gonna put you away. And that's what the fear that everybody has. But if people stuck together, things would change very quickly, very quickly. This government has got the lowest rating, 13%, I just read the other day, ever out of any government. So I don't think she'll be there much longer. But She doesn't sound like she wants to resign. You know, like, never mind resign, fire their ass. We should be able to fire them. Who are these people? They work for the people, don't they? It's ridiculous.
You're supposed to. Yeah.
Totally ridiculous. I know we're going into a different subject, but it's all part of our health. It's all part of our health. You know, we should be able to get rid of these people. They are supposed to be there for the people. And, you know, my opinion is all government should be volunteer. It shouldn't have a paycheck. That would be true for the people. If there's going to be a government, it has to be on volunteer basis. No money involved. No money involved. Because it's all corruption. It's right down to the bone. And the people who go in there who had a good heart, they either get out or they become corrupt. Because to be in there, you got to be corrupt.
That's right.
I don't see any of these people that will stick around in that filth. They have laundry as far as you can see. These people, it's disgusting, totally disgusting. But we've gone at our 2-hour mark. I think we'll give it a close. Robert, if you can end that and post the video on Facebook so I can put it on YouTube. Hopefully we got a backup here.